Hello and welcome to busyworksbeats.com. I've been working on something secret for you guys and it's super late. I don't have my webcam, but I want to show you guys the new BusyWorks Beats AI mastering tool. So firstly, let's just hear an entire chain. Here's before. Here's after. All right, so we're adding dimensionality to the music. So the first thing in this chain is the BusyWorks Beats EQ3. We're going to be adding all these plugins to our mixing bundle. Just go to busyworksbeats.com/mixing bundle. By tomorrow on Friday, or what's today, Thursday, you guys should be able to see the new AI mastering tool. So the first tool here is the BusyWorks Beats EQ3. In short, the secret is the drive area and the total harmonic distortion. My favorite is the British console. Just turn up the drive. Very simple. In this case, 40% is decent. And then we're driving the output. This is a later decision I made. We also have a de-esser in this EQ. This is good if you have like AI samples in your beats and you can't get that sibilant out of it. That's a quick little tool you guys can use. You really don't need to know every button in here to get it to work. You just turn a couple knobs. The next plugin we're using is the Smart Compressor. Again, this is the version we're going to be rolling out by Thursday, April 9th. So here is basically version 2 of this. Now in this compressor, what we're doing is blending in parallel compression. It's very subtle. We're doing 30 milliseconds attack, 100 milliseconds of release. 1 to 1.6 ratio, 50% mixed level. And then we're using the look ahead and some upward compression. So it's very, very, very subtle. It's not like a huge change. As you guys can see, we're clipping, but over time, when you gain stage, the clipping will go down. So now you feel the compressor pulls it below clipping. Mainly we're using this British console again, kind of doubling up on this analog console there. All right, so we have 2 analog units running into each other. They model analog. Anytime you see this little icon in these plugins, I need to add it to the new plugin, but we don't have time for all that. So this one also models analog. And we're using this one for the vintage drum machine sound. So let's add this in. So let me turn it on and off. Here's off. Here's in. Let's wait for the kicks to come back. Here's off. So it gives it a retro vibe using those retro samplers. We also turn the input down for gain staging. And let me see, did I turn anything else on? I think that was it. We just basically, and I have a limiter on. I should turn that off. But technically we can run through that. And then we're running into the new BusyWorks Beats AI mastering tool. Now this was originally built for only AI music because people kept complaining. They're like, man, I get these great productions off of SUNO, but it sounds AI. So I built this to make stuff sound less AI, but it ended up turning into an entire mastering suite. So it's really built for people who have AI samples and they want to make them sound more realistic. And it can also be applied to human music as well. So let's do it before and after. Now this isn't really doing much in the chain. It's like barely doing much because we already did all the steps before. But it adds that final polish to the song. So here's before. See how the song opens up. Here's before. After. So it depends on the song. Again, when you're doing human music through this, it just depends on the song. But we made 3 easy knobs for you guys, and then you could tweak it if you guys get it like in the producer mindset. And you can go to the advanced tab for the full EQ. All right, so now let's go through different examples just to show you guys how this applies to pretty much everything. So here's a hip hop track. Now we're going to turn off this entire chain and only use the AI mastering now. So let's reset this. So that actually we have to skip that one for copyright purposes. So let's play this Griselda. All right, so the beat is already full, as you guys can hear. Our only job here is just make sure we have a little headroom. So we're going to gain this down about 3 dB or so. My suggestion is you guys don't go into this plugin super loud because it will act differently. So if you just turn your volume down coming in, you have a lot more control. So first, let's just mess with these knobs. The clean knob is really for AI music. Okay. The bass knob and the loud knob are what you guys are going to mess with if you're using this on human music. All right, my bad, y'all. I had to fix my mic. All right, so all we're doing is just turning up the loud knob. And it's making it louder. Pretty simple. So here's before. Here's after. All right, so pretty simple. Now for this type of beat, if you want to run it through that sampler, we could turn up the vintage mode. And then run it through the console. You can also add compression. And for this kind of beat, it's already compressed, so we're not going to go too crazy with it. But now you can feel that dynamic. Here's before. Here's after. All right, so I'm just showing you guys how quick you could dial these settings in. Again, it was made to kind of be easy for people who use it. You know, they produce with AI music. It wasn't really built for human stuff, but it ended up being good on human stuff. All right, let's run it on this dance track here. Let's just use the 3 knobs first. And again, like I said, if you have to tweak the settings, you guys can. So again, the clean mode is really for AI music, but sometimes we could use it just to tidy up some of the messiness of arrangements. My favorite to start with, if you don't want to use the whole clean knob, is to use the clarity. There's before. Let's turn up the bass. Let's use the high clean here. It's a little too bright on this track. You gotta go. So we're going to do a couple things here. The song needs to be clean because there's so many elements that stack. So we're going to take off the clipping mode and just run straight into the limiter. So this is why I gave producers full control. That way you guys can tweak how you guys like. But basically, for most songs, you could just turn these 3 knobs up. With human stuff, there's a lot of variation. You gotta go. But the 3 knobs still apply. Go. Here's before. Here's after. Is that a little compression in here? We can even roll off the highs. so simply just switching out the compressor for this type of track. This fits the best in my opinion. It's got the console vibe in there. So here's before. After. All right, so I'm just showing you guys you could dial it in. It's not like too easy to where it's not fun, but it's also not too complex to where you guys can't just turn knobs. All right, so let's run it on the Snoop Dogg track. Let's just again start with the 3 knobs. These are the starting points. Again, the clean mode is really, again, for AI music, so we're not going to really need it on much of it. But if you have a problem mix, you could turn this up. We also have a clean mode in here. This is a little more subtle. Here's before. So basically you want to go to the area of your song that has the most energy. So let's go to the hook. Make sure we're focusing there. Now, this also has a lot of low frequencies on the side. Let's roll back to clean. I was kind of just doing that to show you guys, but let's actually use what I would use. Now for loudness, we could add this upward compression. It's a nice filler if you guys feel like your track isn't full enough. Now here's a track where it's a special use case. We're gonna have to go inside the EQ3 before the mastering because we have to take care of that low mid area for the vocal. So this is where I'm gonna dial back the settings here. So we have a lot at like 150 on the side. So this is where the EQ comes into play because now we could target very specific things. The mastering unit wasn't built to be everything in one. Even though we have EQs, it wasn't built to be this precise of an EQ. So let's A-B this EQ. Here's before. It's just less, it's less hand over the mouth type frequency. So here's before mastering. Let's be a little more aggressive on the side image. So see how these combined tools add up to a greater sound?
got the dog in me. You got the dog. Got the dog in me. You got the dog. Got the dog in me. You got the.
All right, so there's that. So let's keep moving through these songs. Now we're moving into the AI generated stuff, and here's where we're going to focus just on the new AI mastering tool, because this again was built for AI samples. Actually, that's the wrong track. Duh. Let's go to, I'm going to skip some of these other beats we made because we were testing on so much stuff. Let's start with hip hop, and then we're going to move into rock. I also have presets for you guys, so you don't have to like know how to do all this. But the thing is, you have to know the volume going into the plugin. So basically you don't want to slam your track into this because it will be a little aggressive. West.
West Coast, the best coast, got the best
so here's before.
The best hoes, California, ayy. West Coast all day, in the 64, jumping like Dr. Dre.
Here's before.
West Coast, the best coast.
Now that was just a mixing. Anytime this is labeled AI music, AI vocal, that's for AI. Anything labeled mastering or mixing is built for human stuff. So let's actually go through the AI stuff and just showing you guys, it doesn't have to be genre specific. The presets are just named after the genre that worked the best for this preset. So let's start with the AI music preset called Aggressive Rock.
West.
So here's before.
West Coast, the best coast, got the best dro and the best hoes, California, ayy.
Here's before.
West Coast all day, in the 64, jumping.
Here's after.
Like Dr. Dre.
Let's just keep going through presets here. I'll just kind of turn it off and on.
West. West Coast, the best coast, got the best dro and the best hoes, California, ayy. West Coast all day, in the 64, jumping like Dr. Dre. West Coast, the best coast, got the best dro and the best hoes, California, ayy. West Coast all day, in the 64, jumping like Dr. Dre. West Coast, the best coast, got the best dro and the best hoes, California, ayy. West Coast all day, in the 64, jumping like Dr. Dre.
Here's before.
West Coast,
After.
the best coast, got the best dro and the best hoes, California, ayy. West Coast all day, in the 64, jumping.
And some of these presets were made specifically for AI vocals. We don't have any AI vocals to demo today, so let's move to the other preset.
West. West Coast, the best coast, got the best dro and the best hoes, California, ayy. West Coast all day, in the 64, jumping.
This is pretty night and day, you guys, especially when it comes to AI music. This stuff is night and day. Now, when it comes to human-made music, a lot of people tend to overly make their stuff loud, and they don't know how to prepare stuff for mastering, so they tend to just overly cook their beats beforehand. So it's good to just try to, as you're making your beats, work this plugin in and just turn it off during your session so that you're just aware of what it would potentially sound like. Because again, like I said, a lot of people just slam beats and they leave zero headroom for anything. So that's
West.
let's move to another preset. So here's the AI music hip hop preset. Let's move to a different song too.
West.
Here's before.
West Coast, the best coast. Got the best dro and the best hoes. California, A, West Coast all day. In the 64, jumping like Dr. Dre. West Coast, the best coast. Got the best dro and the best hoes.
So this song is very like West. It's a lot of that. So that's what the clean knob is for. It's very specific frequencies that AI generated stuff tends to focus on. And I've targeted that. So you guys can switch the modes to more aggressive or however you guys want this. It's by default, it's at medium. If you want a more clean sound, just put it on clean mode. More transparent sound, I should say. And what I recommend is any human music should turn off the tamer. This is for AI stuff. Maybe I'll just rename it AI tamer so it's obvious.
West Coast, the best coast. Got the best dro and the best hoes. California, A, West Coast all day. In the 64, jumping like Dr. Dre. West Coast, the best coast. Got the best dro and
Here's
the
before.
best hoes. California, A, West Coast all day. In the 64, jumping like Dr. Dre.
I mean, this is night and day, you guys. Take your SUNO samples to a whole different level, or wherever you guys get your samples from. Here's before.
Ooh, baby. Ooh, baby. Ooh, I love you. I love you. Ooh, baby.
Let's try different presets.
I love you.
Again, everything wasn't made for everything, but we're just gonna do presets here. Anything labeled West Coast is for very specific hard drums.
Ooh, baby. Ooh, I love you. I love you.
Here's before.
Ooh, baby. Ooh, baby. Ooh, baby. I love you. I love you. Ooh, baby. Ooh, baby.
So here's before. You can feel the energy difference.
Ooh, baby. I love you. I love you.
All right, so no need for all those subscriptions. You guys now have a new plugin where you could basically master your own AI stuff. And let me do a couple more songs. Let's do one of the rock songs. Here's before.
Shooting star.
before.
Where you
So some, genres are not meant to be that pushed that aggressively. That's why it's called aggressive rock preset. So I think we have one more preset. Here's before. Again, that was a hip hop preset. So I'm just showing you guys, like, you can create your own mastering sound and make this AI music sound very realistic. And again, on real music, you can make it sound even better. The big mistake I see though is people just slamming into the mastering. You definitely want to buy yourself about 6 dB of headroom before going into this plugin. So for example, in FL, you just turn this little clip gain down, then go into the plugin. That will give you enough room to basically do all the stuff that we were doing. So let's do that with this track, and then we're going to wrap this video. Let's turn this down to about 6 dB. There's no magic number, it's just you want enough headroom. So let's start from scratch. We don't need the tamer, like I said, for this track. It's a human made track. Let's add a little console in here. A little dynamic.
Cruising down the 4-5, I just want some that fire, smoking on some that la la.
We could change out the soft clipping mode as well.
Cruising down the 4-5, I just want some that fire, smoking on some that la la la.
Here's before. Here's before. So go to busyworksbeats.com/mixing bundle, and you guys will find the new AI mastering tool right inside of there. All right, y'all, subscribe if you're new. It's again from busyworksbeats.com. Peace out, guys.